So I got this email the other day. Antonio, I want to fly you out to help me build a complete new wardrobe. I'll pay for your flight, food, hotel, everything. The money is no issue. I just don't have the time, and I trust your opinion because I love your style. I love what you talk about on your channel. So how much is it going to cost to get you out here? I need your help. So at least a few times a year, I get messages like this. And every time I receive these messages, I'm flattered, but I always say no.
No! God, please, no! No!
And don't get me wrong, it's not because I don't want to make money or help this guy. It's just that that's not my business model. As many of you guys know, with 7 kids, 5 businesses, I'm in the season of my life that I don't travel much and I need to be around for my family.
Huh?
That being said, I followed up with the gentleman, I gave him some guidance, and I realized the plan of action I laid out for him, my 7-step plan to rebuilding his image, I could give to you all at no cost in this video. So how to rebuild your image in a matter of days so that you're looking amazing this next year? Well, gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video. So when I was talking with Michael, I said the first thing we need to do is to identify the image, the style that you want to project. Before you go anywhere, you need to know where you're going. So defining your goals, defining your style identity is step number 1. Your image, your personal presentation speaks for you before you even open your mouth. How do you want the world to see you? How do you want the world to interpret your image? A sharp professional, maybe an approachable leader, maybe a refined gentleman, or a confident man. Now, of course, you can choose a variety of adjectives here. I try to start with no more than 5, and from this, we're going to create an inspiration board. We're going to go online using Google image search, Instagram, Pinterest, or Facebook, but we want to find actual images and pictures that illustrate, that display, that capture the look that you're going for. And remember, gents, the key here is to keep this practical. You may like suits, but day to day, if you don't wear a suit, your job, your profession, or simply your habits have you wearing casual clothing most of the time, well, then look to find inspiring casual styles that are maybe 1 or 2 steps up above what you're currently wearing, and that's going to be where we want to start. Having said that, don't limit yourself. If you really like casual suits, but they're not something you normally wear, well, go ahead and pin them and start looking for those pieces because maybe you can find something on sale and then you can find the occasion to wear it. The key here is to be inspired, to be able to develop a direction of where you want to go. Step number 2, purge and evaluate. On a side note, the Purge movies, I absolutely love them. I don't know why they're such a guilty pleasure, especially the first one. Now, purging when it comes to your wardrobe is simply to eliminate the items that are causing confusion. The reality for a lot of guys is that they have clothing in their closet that they just need to get rid of. Seriously, we want to go through your closet and divide everything into 3 categories. We've got love it, we've got like it, and then we have lose it. So if it doesn't fit you and it can't be adjusted to fit you, if it is stained, if it cannot be repaired, if you haven't worn the item for 2 years and you're never going to wear the item, all these items you want to throw into the lose it pile. Now, I know some of you guys are hoarders and you're going to say, Antonio, I may need that in 5 years. In that case, put it into a box, tape it up, put the date on it, and in 5 years, when you find this box and you haven't opened it, you know that you can donate it safely. Now, the like it category for most guys, this is where the majority of their clothing is going to go. These are pieces that get the job done. You like them, but when you put these items on, they don't enhance your image. You don't feel like $1 million putting these pieces on. Now, the love it category, again, for most guys, is going to be a small percentage. These are the items in that particular color with that particular pattern that every time you wear it, you get a compliment. You feel good. It's that sports jacket that every time you put it on, you feel like $1 million. It's those boots that make you taller, and every time you wear them, you feel like the man. And it's this love it category that you want to pay special attention to because in an ideal world, everything in your closet is eventually going to fall into this category. So with the items you're putting in there, you want to say, hey, is there an item here that I need to replace? I need to get either another one or I need to make sure I get something like it because if I were to lose this item, it really would leave a hole in my wardrobe. In addition, now that we've gotten rid of some items that were in the lose it category, you may identify, hey, you know what? I don't have a pair of jeans that I love. This is a big hole in my wardrobe that I need to fill. Do you not have a single casual jacket that you can slip on that makes you look great in a color that complements your skin tone? If you don't have this, and hey, we're in winter, the height of the season, this is something you need to be looking for. Maybe you've got a lot of dress shirts, but none of them fit you well. You've lost weight. Congratulations. Guess what? Now reward yourself by going out there and finding a dress shirt that doesn't have to be in any fancy color. You can go with a white, but instead you choose one that fits your new body type and shows off all the time that you've put into the gym. And when it comes to footwear, depending on your style, you can go with a pair of dress boots, maybe Chukkas or Chelsea. Chelsea's. Or if you want some a little bit dressier, find a pair of loafers that every time you put these on, you feel amazing. You love the way the colors on that shoe play with each other. Our end goal here is to be able to put together at least one, preferably a few, good-looking outfits that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can't help but agree that, damn, I look good. Now at this point, some of you guys are thinking, Antonio, this all sounds nice, but none of this matters if you don't have your health, if you don't have your wealth, if you don't have purpose in life. And you know what? I 100% agree. Because all things being equal, a man that's fit, a man that's healthy is going to look better in the same clothing than a man that's not. A bit of wealth, a bit of money sure makes it a lot easier to be able to pick up the items that we're talking about in today's video. And of course, if a man doesn't have direction, if he doesn't have a reason, if he doesn't have purpose, well, if he doesn't have those things, it doesn't matter how well dressed a man is. He's just an empty suit floating aimlessly. Well, gents, here's the deal. If you're a man in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, looking to level yourself up, to find a community of like-minded warriors out there trying to improve their health, wealth, and purpose, well, gents, if that's you, you need to check out our new community, HWP. Over at HWP, we've got a step-by-step program to help men become their best selves. I've developed this program over the last decade, leveraging my experience as a former officer of Marines, business owner, and father. The reality is when you're 35, 45, 55, it's very difficult to find like-minded men looking to improve themselves. At HWP, we've got a supportive community and we embrace the idea that daily, through small actions, if you just get better by 1%, over the period of months, you're going to see compound improvements and take measurable steps towards becoming the man you know yourself to be. Gents, if this at all sounds interesting, down in the description of today's video, go check us out. I'm putting a link over to Health, Wealth, Purpose, or you can just type it into your search bar, healthwealthpurpose.com. And yeah, you can learn more and see if this program is right for you. Quick note, this is an invitation-only group, meaning that you need to go through an application process. And I personally look over every application and do the interviews because we've discovered that it's really important we get the right fit, the right type of guys that are going to bring in the right energy, guys that are willing to show up and do the work to become their best self. Also, the average age is about 48 and there's only 20 men in each class. So don't wait, apply today, use the link in the description of today's video and we'll get back to you. So the next step is to understand the fundamentals of fit and proportion. So let's look at this image right here. We've got the same gentleman, but notice how one suit fits and the other one is way too large. Notice how the suit that fits, it complements him. It makes him look great. The suit that doesn't fit, yeah, it doesn't matter that he spent thousands of dollars on it. It just looks bad. And you may think this is obvious, but the problem is when you walk into a store, the items being pushed on you are caught in a fashion trend. Yeah, 15 years ago, we saw really tight, ultra small suits being pushed. Now the pendulum is swinging to the other side where guys are starting to wear baggy suits. The key that you need to understand is depending on your body type, there is going to be a range of fits that suit your natural build. But the key here is to find the cut that works for you, and if you're buying an item that can be adjusted, that can be tailored, which is, by the way, most clothing, then get it adjusted to fit you better. In fact, one question I usually ask guys who are looking to improve their style, what's the name of your tailor? If you don't have a tailor, then go out there and find one because these guys can work wonders in making your dress shirts, in making your trousers, your jeans, your jackets fit you better and hence making you look better. Now, proportion in style is a little bit more advanced, but it is not the same thing as clothing fit. In fact, when we look at this image right here, we can see the difference in proportion of the head. Notice how on the giant man, the head overall is smaller in proportion to the body. Compare that to a smaller man. His head in proportion to his body is going to be larger. Now, you don't need to be an expert on proportions, but when you're working with your tailor, when you are finding clothing that suits you, you want to make sure it is balancing your proportions. So if you're shaped like a pear, you've got narrow shoulders but wider hips, you're going to want to make sure to wear a jacket that actually builds out the shoulders a bit. It doesn't have to be too much, but if you don't wear that jacket and you wear a light colored shirt with dark trousers, your pear shape, and let's face it, most guys don't like this shape, is going to be exaggerated. Now, some of that logic also applies to a shorter man because your head in proportion to your body is going to be larger, so jackets are going to build out the shoulders and therefore make your head look more proportioned. On the flip side, if you're muscular, if you're a bodybuilder, you are not going to want to wear an overly structured jacket. No, if you're looking at sports jackets, you want to look for a jacket with Neapolitan shoulders. These are going to be smoother, almost no padding, and they're going to make you look good, not like a cartoon character. Next up, you want to invest in interchangeable staples. So earlier in this video, we talked about identifying the holes in your wardrobe. You want to put together some outfits, and you probably have identified maybe a pair of trousers, a few shirts, maybe a jacket, maybe a few pairs of shoes, that if you just added these things to your wardrobe, all of a sudden you would have a lot more possibilities, especially if you loved every single one of those items. Well, one of the keys to loving an item isn't necessarily to getting compliments all the time on it, but it really comes down to your ability to wear it with pretty much anything. Hence why I push interchangeability. Now, interchangeability, in case you don't remember, that's where your jacket, your shirt, your trousers, your shoes, everything works together. So in this case, we have 16 items, 4 in each category, and someone that doesn't understand interchangeability may say, oh, that's going to be perfect for 4 outfits. However, if you understand interchangeability, you know that you can actually wear any of those trousers with any of those shoes, with any of those jackets, with any of those shirts, and therefore the number of outfits here isn't 4, it's actually 256. Yeah, the first time someone's exposed this, it's mind-blowing. The idea that you can own less clothing if it all mixes and matches with everything else in your wardrobe and be able to get more outfits. I mean, come on, this is what we're talking about, right? Now, an important concept to understand with interchangeability is the need for neutral colors. Black, white, navy, gray, brown, tan, and all the other shades of those aforementioned colors. These colors are very easy to mix and match, therefore they become cornerstone pieces for an interchangeable wardrobe. Now, up to this point, we've been talking about clothing, but now let's talk about your grooming. Hair, skin, nails, you're probably doing the basics. But if you want to level up your game, if you want to rebuild your image, you need to set appointments with professionals. Find and set up appointments with the best stylist, the best esthetician, and yes, make an appointment at a salon for a manicure and possibly even a pedicure. I know some of you guys are like, Antonio, come on, I'm a man. I would never do that stuff. Here's the deal. If you're thinking that way, you probably are scared of what other people are going to say or think. And even if you aren't, well, let me explain my logic here. In my experience, having helped thousands of men improve their image over the last decade, I find it's the men who invest a little bit of money, yes, put their hard-earned dollars down on the table to improve their image. These are the guys that actually pay attention, show up, and do the work. So with your hair, you're going to cheat on your barber. Yes, you've been going to the same guy for 20 years. Here's the thing. He's been giving you the same cut you've always asked for versus a stylist is going to shampoo your hair and look at your face shape. Look at the way maybe your hair is thinning and find a style that actually suits you. And pay attention to what he or she's doing. Ask questions about the product they're using, about, hey, you're using a blow dryer. I've never used one. How would I use this? Ask questions about how to better take care of your hair. And if you've got a beard, if you've got a mustache, if you've got hair growing everywhere and you've always wondered, hey, how would I go about manscaping? Don't be afraid to ask these questions to get a suggestion, because let's get over to the manicure, the pedicure. Now, I understand the hesitation on this one. This is a domain mostly of women, but hey, walk in there and if nothing else, treat yourself to the massage, to just simply feeling like a king. But the reality is, when a man spends money on his nails, he actually sees why so many women love this. And if you're one of those guys that bite your nails after you've spent $50 to $100 to take care of your nails, you're going to find all of a sudden, you know what? I'm not going to bite on something that I spent good money on. And now let's talk about estheticians. It's spelled 2 different ways. There are 2 types out there. In any case, you want to go to somebody that has seen hundreds, if not thousands of people and their skin, and can actually go over on your skin and identify, hey, you know, I've always wondered, is that a mole or is that some type of cancerous thing that I need to maybe go see a doctor about? But seriously, these estheticians, they love to teach people about, okay, you want to use this product, you want to set up this routine. And again, when you've spent a little bit of money on this, you are more likely to follow through and to start taking steps to just simply take care of the largest organ on your body. Yes, that's your skin, guys. Get your mind out of the gutter. Next up, let's talk about your accessories, the small things, sunglasses. I think that, you know, this right here, they frame your face. Find a style that suits you. I see so many guys that spend money on a great haircut, got a great outfit on, and their sunglasses absolutely suck. Now, aviators are going to be the go-to suit most face shapes, but I love Club Masters. They're not as difficult to wear as Wayfarers, but yet the style factor on these things, it really can level up your look. And the only face shape I don't think they work for is if you've got a wider forehead and a thinner jaw, then you're going to want to avoid that style. But in that case, maybe look at the Wayfarers or just stick with the aviators. Now, the next accessory you want to pay attention to is the watch. Now, studies have shown that most people don't know a whole lot about watches or the watch brands. So don't get fixated on a Rolex and think you got to spend, $10,000 plus on a watch for it to be impressive. Now, find a brand, find a style that suits you. Most people, if they even notice the watch, will just simply notice it because it has a bit of shine, because it has a bit of color, or perhaps because it's a bit larger. But in any case, a true watch aficionado, he's going to be impressed that you're just simply another watch guy. And what's really fun here is you get to start the conversation with other watch people. And that's where if you do get into watches, then that's where you start going down this whole rabbit hole. And yeah, as this chart shows here, you start off with a Seiko, you eventually go and spend all this money, you mortgage your house to get that one watch, and then where do you end up going at the end of the whole journey? Yes, back to that original Seiko that you loved. Yeah, me personally, I love watches, but I am over spending a lot of money on them. Now, in the case of the gentleman that I talked about earlier that had offered to fly me out, he was going to be a traveling businessman, and he was going to be giving presentations. He was representing his company. He had a lot of money that was flowing in and out. And so in this case, we actually looked for a briefcase and for a series of luggage and bags that actually better suited the style that he wanted to project. Now, this isn't going to be for everybody, but I do think spending money on a nice bag that's going to serve you, especially made from leather of high quality, this is going to be a lifetime investment. So I do think spending a little bit more money here is warranted, especially if you're still using that backpack that you used as a student over a decade ago. Yeah, if you've got a suit jacket, if you've got a sport jacket or a blazer jacket, you do not want to throw a backpack on that. It can ruin the shoulders and it's like trying to mix oil and water. It just doesn't go. That being said, if you love backpacks, there are some higher quality, some really nice ones I've talked about before in my videos. But yeah, there are ways to step up the backpack. I'm not throwing it under the bus. I think it's a useful accessory, a useful tool. But yeah, you want the style of that backpack to work with the style you are projecting with your clothing and your image. Next up, we've got practice, evaluate, and adjust. So you can have a wardrobe of amazing clothing, an awesome watch, a hairstyle that oozes style. But unless you practice putting it together and wearing it out and putting in the reps, well, gents, if you're not used to wearing it, it is going to be a costume. You see, to have true style, sprezzatura, is to actually be able to wear that clothing with effortless ease, or at least for it to appear as effortless ease. Because yes, there's a bit of maintenance and upkeep, you got to shine the shoes, but by practicing putting these outfits together and actually wearing them out and about, you're then going to be able to evaluate what works. What do you actually like? What do you feel comfortable wearing? What gets you compliments? And if compliments don't matter, because I know they don't matter to a lot of you guys. Yes, you tell me in the comments. Well, then how does that clothing actually make you feel? And is there anything you want to improve? And that's where you're going to adjust. You're going to find some items you're going to buy and you're going to have wasted your money because you're not going to like them as much as you thought you were. Don't worry, that's not a bad thing. That just means you are human. But by going through this loop, you're going to actually get value from the new wardrobe, the new image that you've created. And that being said, gents, I've got you covered with another video. Boom, right here. Yeah, come on. Don't stop watching. I got you covered. Boom, right here. Check it out. Solid video. Oh, yeah, I know you'll like it right there. Come on. Click. Come on. Boom, right there.